Ragnhild Ulvik, who's SVP for Future Business at Statkraft, Europe's largest producer of renewable energies. I hardly need to remind you of that. And she is going to talk to us about what she sees as the key issues to accelerate the deployment of renewable technologies. Ragnhild, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you with us.
Good morning, everyone. The stakes for the energy transition are higher than ever. And to reach net zero by 2050, we need more of everything and faster. Many of the technologies and solutions we need to get there exist today. So the question then becomes, how do we scale fast enough? I will talk about how we in Statkraft work to scale up in a sustainable way and address some of the challenges that we all face and need to collaborate to solve to get there. It's clear from our external surroundings that there is a strong call for action. The geopolitical landscape is increasingly challenging, and we see increased focus on security of energy supply. And at the same time, we see concrete impact of climate change with extreme weather events around the world. This has as a main consequence that we need more renewable energy. And fortunately, this transition is already happening. This is in part due to the cost decline that we've seen for renewable sources over the past decade, in particular for solar and wind. And this increased competitiveness has led to accelerated development. Recently, we've seen slight cost increases and also some challenges in the supply chain, like for offshore wind. But we believe that in the long term, this trend of declining costs will continue. And this slide shows our projections for Norway for 2030 and 2050. In 2050, Statkraft's analysis estimates that we'll have more than 80% renewable electricity. This is up from levels of around 28% today. And it's particular for solar and wind that we will see this increase by 22 and 11 times, respectively, according to these projections. And rapid development of wind and solar is the fastest and cheapest ways to reduce global greenhouse gas emissions in the period up to 2030. Increased renewable power will then be used to cut emission in end-use sectors via electrification. And we expect electricity demand to more than double in this period. And beyond 2030, green hydrogen and CCUS will also be important to decarbonize the hard-to-abate sectors. But then, to increase renewable capacity and scale fast enough, what will that require? Well, of course, we need to have profitable projects where we deploy technology at the lowest possible costs. But it is also important, especially as we scale up, to have predictable framework conditions so that we have concessions in place at the right time to avoid unnecessary delays. And we do see positive tendencies in the EU with legislation that specifically targets to accelerate permitting. Another key challenge is grid access, and that's maybe the biggest one in many regions. Grid infrastructure is essential to ensure efficient utilization of the power that we generate. And while investments have been increasing over the past years in grid, then this is still lagging behind what is needed for net zero. We also need to work together with local communities so that we can find good solutions for all stakeholders and interests involved. And then I'm not surprised to hear that many before me have said that they worry about talent because we need a lot of people and competence. And while we attract a lot of really smart people to our business, the competition for talent is increasing and becoming global. And I think it's important that higher education, such as NTNU, adapt their offering to them, help us building these new green skills, that we as companies are very clear on what type of competence we need and when. And then I know there's many students here today, so please do embrace these new skills to your toolbox because that will make you really valuable employees for the future. Lastly, maybe as a cliche, we need to work together but we do see that we get the most speed when markets, technologies, policies, and stakeholders work together in the same direction. In Statkraft, we are committed to drive the energy transition. And we have been making renewable power possible for more than 100 years, and we're currently Europe's largest renewable company and a global company in energy market operations. We have a vision that really motivates me, and that is to renew the way the world is powered. We aim to achieve that through our growth strategy that has 4 pillars, as shown on this slide. That is to leverage hydropower to provide clean flexibility. It is to accelerate development of solar, wind, and battery storage. It is to deliver green market solutions to our customers. And it is to scale new green technologies, such as green hydrogen, biofuels, and EV charging and beyond. To increase renewable power production, we need to have a lot of good projects. And we do. We currently have around 20 projects that are either ongoing or committed. And this is backed by a pipeline of more than 400 projects at different levels of maturity. Combined, these have a net capacity, probability weighted, of 19,000 megawatts. And as we grow renewable capacity, we have set clear goals for how we want to contribute to this growth, also in the 2030 and 2040 perspective. By 2025, we aim to have an annual development rate for wind, solar, and batteries of 2.5 to 3 gigawatts, and then increase this to 4 gigawatts by 2030. And this is a lot for us. This means actually a pace already in 2025 of 1 power plant on average every 9 days. We've also set ambitious goals for hydrogen and offshore wind, and obviously all of this will require a lot of investments. Only here in Norway, we plan to make investment decisions of between 44 and 67 billion Norwegian kroner by 2030. Delivering all of this comes back to people and collaboration. I'm optimistic about the future, since many of the solutions we need are available to us. But we need accelerated action on all fronts, and global collaboration will be vital to succeed with net zero. I'm therefore happy to be here with all of you to discuss these topics today, and with that, I thank you for the attention.